A very, very good evening to everyone, and I hope everyone is doing absolutely fine. And today we are back with a basic concept chapter. So today we'll be discussing about the rates of income tax, which is very important because any question, if it comes for computation of tax liability, no matter how much right you do, if the tax liability is wrong, then the answer does not match. And if MCQ में tax liability comes, तो step marking भी नहीं है. So make sure that you are very much thorough with your tax liability computation or tax liability calculation. So shall we begin? And I hope everyone is doing well. Very good evening, Oja. Any question from the last class? Very good evening, Prasant. All good to go? Perfect. So we shall now begin with the rates. Now, first of all, ये rates क्या है? Rates of income tax क्या है? It is given in the Act and it is given in the Finance Act also. But the financial year and fiscal year both are same. They are just different terms. Okay. Yeah. So back to the rates, surcharge, etc. First of all, last class may you notice we focused a lot about understanding different types of assessee. Why we focused a lot on understanding different types of assessee? The reason is there are different tax rates for different types of assessee. Once you decide that you have to start your business, it is very important for you to analyze that how do you want to start your business. Suppose, to give an example, do you want to start your business as a sole proprietor? Then individual rates would be applied. You want to start your business in partnership with someone, then firm rates would apply. The business profits would be taxed at the rate which is applicable for firm. Or you want to start as a company. Obviously, each of this organization form has a benefit also, has a con also, as it there are advantages also and there are disadvantages also. And analyzing the tax rate is one such very important advantage. Why? Because there are so many policies you will see, so many benefits you see. Some are already allowed to individual HUS, some are allowed to companies only, some are allowed to not only firms while I say such name, but basically to decide which form of organization I have to go, depending upon the scale of your business, depending upon the idea of business. Tax rates also become one such important factor. Now, बहुत लोगों को नहीं पता होता, many students do not know that tax rates every year come under the Finance Act. What are the tax rates which would be applicable are there in the Finance Act. They are not in the Income Tax Act. ये जो हम slab rates इतने सालों से पढ़ रहे हैं, we are reading those. Though those comes in the Finance Act. Finance Act में, if you'll go in the first schedule, there are three parts. There are three parts. फर्स्ट शेड्यूल में पार्ट वन, पार्ट टू, पार्ट थ्री. सो अब जैसे बजट आया मेरा फाइनेंस एक्ट 24 वाला, फाइनेंस एक्ट 2024 वाला बजट इफ कम्स, सो उसके पार्ट वन ऑफ द फर्स्ट शेड्यूल में आई गेट द रेट फॉर फाइनेंशियल ईयर 23-24. That is as previous year 23-24 in the part one. That is the ongoing year. That is the ongoing year. But पार्ट टू में क्या होगा? पार्ट टू में टीडीएस रेट्स होंगे. पार्ट टू में टीडीएस रेट होंगे. तो आने वाले साल के जो रेट्स होंगे वो किस में एप्लीकेबल होंगे? वेयर आई वुड फाइंड द रेट्स फॉर द ईयर विच इज अबाउट टू कम और द प्रेजेंट असेसमेंट ईयर. दैट इज इन पार्ट थ्री. सो पार्ट थ्री में I think it's better readable now. Yeah. So part 3 may I will get to know the rates which are applicable for my financial year 24-25. Noted? अब कैसे रेफर करना है पता चल गया, because बहुत I have seen so many people searching the act that where are the rates given. The rates are not given in the act, the rates are given in the Finance Act. Now, that being said, in the past couple of years, like for past 4-5 years, there have been a lot of new schemes in picture. So let me just quickly give you a brief about what are these new schemes. So there is this one scheme, 115 BAC, which is there for individual HUF AOP, BOI and AGP. Okay. Then there is 115 BAA and BAB. This is for companies. This is for domestic companies only. And one is new manufacturing company. Okay. Now there is one more BAE, which is for cooperative societies. Now, the point here I'm trying to say is these are sections of the Act. These are the sections of the Act. So if you have to follow these schemes, then you have to refer the section which is there in the Act. Usme then Finance Act will not come into picture. So either if you want to go through the conventional method, then you have to see the Finance Act for the rate. If you want to go through the schemes method, which are now launched, then you have to see these respective sections. Now focusing on one by one, we'll be covering up the tax rates for individual HUF, AOP, BOI, domestic company, firms, LLP, local authority. At your stage, at final stage, see, if you would have been a student of intermediate, I would have said that individual HUF ka rate, you should read and put it in your blood. It is very important. But at your stage, individual HUF, AOP, BOI rates are also very important because now the changes are so very much common. Domestic company rates are also very important. A question can come for domestic company, a question can come for 115 BAC. So you should be thorough with your tax rates. Now, basic cheese. Before I go to the tax rates for each individual, we all know that income there can be total income there can be two income. One is normal income, another is special rate income. So in my total income, I can have two parts, the normal income part and the special rate income part. Now on the normal income, the slab rates, if applicable, or flat rates would be applicable, which are there depending upon the SSC. Special rate income pe special rate which are there in that special section would be applicable. So the tax you have to calculate is normal income pe normal tax, special income pe special tax, which is there in the respective section. This total combined would be your final tax liability. No, this would be your tax liability. This can be either increased by surcharge if you are into a high income group, or can be reduced by a rebate if you are into a lower income group. दोनों नहीं हो सकते, ठीक है? Then whatever comes, tax plus surcharge or tax after rebate, whatever comes on that you apply health and education cess, which is at 4% flat for all SSCs. Matlab, even if you are a company or a non-resident or a resident, whatever you are, health education cess would be applied flat at 4%. Okay, so I'm going very basic. I know this knowledge you might have been having for years. Obviously, you are into practice and stuff. But for my friends who are not into core taxation articleship, please focus. Okay. So plus health education says at 4%, this would be applicable across SSC. कोई आपको बोलेगा नहीं that you have to calculate tax with cess. If a question says tax, then it is this final tax liability which will be coming after surcharge if applicable or rebate if applicable and health and education cess. So please, I've seen my friends making mistake. They calculate tax here and they forget it. That would be a total tax liability. And if you want to have that one grace mark, always round off. हम intermediate students से नहीं इतना expect करते, but from you all we expect that round off your total tax liability in the multiples of 10. So if it is 1, 2, 3, 4, then last वाले 10 पे जाएगी. If 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then immediate 10 पे. Sorted? So if my tax liability is, for example, after everything is 3, 4, 6, 7, 6, 9, 9. So the final tax liability will be 3, 4, 700. Or if it is 6, 8, 9, then it would be 34690. If it is 34681, then it would be 34680. So please make a habit to round off your tax liability to get that additional half or extra marks which is there, and 1 mark ka value you all know. Okay, drill is clear. Now coming to the aspect key how one calculate the tax liability. I'll be covering up first the new scheme completely and then the old scheme. And then we'll go from one SSC to another like this. Saurabh, I'm not able to receive any of your comment. I'm just receiving a blank query. यहाँ तक तो आई होप किसी को कोई डाउट नहीं है. सो इन केस यू डू नॉट हैव योर कैलकुलेटर्स रेडी, प्लीज गेट दैट. परफेक्ट, चलो. Now, first we begin with slab rates. Slab rates का concept सबको पता है. Slab rates is that you divide your income into small, small slab, and then on each slab you apply the rate. So suppose my income is 10 lakh, and suppose the slab rate goes like 0 to 3, 3 to 7, 7 to 10. So 0 to 3 income पे अलग rate, 3 to 7 पे different rate, 7 to 10 पे different rate. All combined would be my final tax liability. The slab rates are applicable to individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, and artificial juridical पर्सन. फर्म्स इसमें नहीं आएंगे, कंपनीज इसमें नहीं आएंगे, लोकल अथॉरिटी वुड नॉट कम. ठीक है. नाउ दिस स्कीम विच वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट 115 BAC, दिस इज अ डिफॉल्ट टैक्स regime. Make a habit to write notes in your exam. Self notes is one thing, but make a habit to write notes in your exam whenever a tax liability question is there and it is silent as to which tax scheme you have to calculate on. So please, until unless it is mentioned, try to do it by default regime and say that this question is done by default tax regime. Do not assume everything which you think is common or understandable. Write it in working notes. Make a habit to write that in your working notes. Just one second. Okay. So now we were on default tax regime. Default tax regime, government ka is like a scheme which they want to make it mandatory, and year by year they are making it attractive. How they are making it attractive? This year, by Finance Act 2024, they have made some changes in the slab rates. The slab rates have been improved. So if you remember the last year one, please ignore it. So we are doing again as per previous year 24-25, which slab rates are applicable, which is there for May 25. I'm repeating again. So default regime means that until and unless you opt out of this scheme would be automatically applicable. But since the slab rates are very attractive, the tax definitely comes a lot less than your old regime. But at the same time, this scheme tends to take a lot of benefits like Chapter 6A deductions, housing loan interest in case of self-occupied, the common one, HRA, etc. These are generally not given to SSE if you calculate the tax as per the default tax regime. This is your default regime. Question may you can write it as new regime, but better to write it as default regime or alternate regime in section 115 PSC. If you're not following the alternate regime and you're following the old provision. So you will write it like, please make sure you will write it like this. The SSE wishes to opt out of default tax regime. The SSE chooses or the SSE opts out of default tax regime. Okay, that means because default tax regime is automatically applicable, if you're not following it, you're opting out. You're opting out. So this is Mota what is allowed and what is not allowed. Chapter 6 deductions except Chapter 6 deductions are not allowed except 80CCD subsection 2, which is employer contribution in case of NPS, 80CCH subsection 2, which is again employer contribution in case of Agniveer, and 80JJAA, which is new employment. Okay, these are allowed. Other than that, nothing is allowed for default tax regime. Now, what are the revised rate? On 0 to 3 lakhs, the tax is nil. 3 to 7, the tax is 5%. The rate is 5%. 7 to 10, 10%. 10 to 12, 15%. 12 to 15, 20%. And 15 above, 30%. So, पहले यहाँ पे 6 और 9 था, but this year they have increased it by 1 lakh. Hence, there is a tax benefit of 10,000 net. Okay. So 3 to 7, 5, 7 to 10, 10, 10 to 12, 15, 12 to 15, 20%, and 15 above, 30%। 15 अबव का क्वेश्चन आता है तो रिमेम्बर 1,40,000 का टैक्स बनता है यहाँ तक, उसके बाद यू कैन कैलकुलेट इट। नाउ इसके ऊपर डिटेल्ड डिस्कशन रिगार्डिंग दैट सेट ऑफ कैरी फॉरवर्ड अनअब्सॉर्ब्ड डेप्रिसिएशन सब कुछ चैप्टर 9 में इन डिटेल हुआ है। असेसमेंट ऑफ एंटिटीज में वी विल जस्ट लर्न टुडे हाउ टू कैलकुलेट द tax, purely how to calculate the surcharge, how to calculate marginal relief on surcharge, rebate, how to calculate marginal relief on rebate and stuff. Okay. So if now my friends are ready, can you quickly tell me I know this is very basic, but can you quickly tell me the tax rates on 18 lakh? What would be the total tax on 18 lakh? Participate guys, participate. ये इतना लंबा क्लास इसलिए है so that you guys can practice. बेसिक से स्टार्ट करेंगे फिर थोड़ा सा टफ करते जाएंगे क्वेश्चंस को, डोंट वरी। Okay, I have received one answer. 239,200. Absolutely correct, Chandana. Very good. Others are sleeping. Really, did you get the answer? Mamta? Poonam, did you get the answer? I'm assuming. Okay, the more you'll practice, paper में तो time नहीं होगा that you have to do it step by step. So practice, practice, practice. Next, 13 lakhs पे कितना tax है guys? Thirteen lakh, 1 3. 1,04,000, not 1,01,000. Very good. Hands on. किसी का आंसर नहीं मैच हो रहा तो यू कैन टेल मी। 8,50,000. नेक्स्ट, क्विक क्विक। नेक्स्ट 8,50,000. सो 13 lakh का आंसर on an income of 13 lakh as per new scheme the tax rate is 1,04,000. On an income of 18 lakh as per new scheme the tax is 2,39,200. And now on 850, 36,400. Chandana, very good, quickest, very nice. And last 22 lakhs पर हो गया हमारा। So you guys are solidly ready, right? 22 लाख। सी 50 लाख से ऊपर होगा तो यू ऑलरेडी नो 3 to 7 लाख पे 20,000 आएगा, 7 to 10 में 30, 10 to 12 में 30 अगेन, एंड 12 to 15 में 60, तो दैट मेक्स 140। तो 15 अबव जितना भी कैलकुलेशन होगा मेक इट वट एवर अमाउंट माइनस 15 लाख प्लस 140। क्विक कैलकुलेशन करना पड़ेगा एग्जाम में। वेरी गुड। 3,64,000 is the final answer for 22 lakhs. Is there anyone जिसका आंसर मैच नहीं हुआ? Is there anyone, Swastika, did your answer not match? Dhanya, no worries, no worries. I'll do it. Just tell me if your answer is not matched. Okay? Today's class is just to polishing your tax calculation. So very much needed. Do not worry if you're not able to get it correct. I'm here. And I'm totally here with you. Do not hurry up. You're attending this class. This is for you all only. So don't worry. So now how the calculations happen, I'll quickly tell. In case answer match nahi hua, for those the answer has matched, take 1 minute breather, don't know what problem. So now this is how basically you calculate your tax. The income is divided into slab rates, and then on slabs you calculate the tax. Now suppose my income, this is how the slab rates are there. So on an income, first 3 lakhs, that is on 0 to 3 lakhs, the tax would be nil. So hence the basic exemption limit. The basic exemption limit in case of new scheme is 3 lakhs, or the amount not chargeable to tax, the maximum amount not chargeable to tax, or basic exemption limit, by whatever name you call, you will call it 3 lakh. Okay. Then then on the next 4 lakhs, that is between 3 to 7 lakhs, on the next 4 lakhs, 5% would be calculated. Then on the next 3 lakhs, that is from 7 to 10, on those 3 lakhs, the rate is 10%. Then on 10 lakh to 12 lakh, the rate is 15%. And then 12 to 15, the rate is 20%. So Dhanya, you are basically doing what? You are dividing your entire income into slabs. And on the first 3 lakhs, you're charging nil. Then on the next 4 lakhs, you're charging 5%. Then on the next 3 lakhs, you're charging 10%. And then on the next 2 lakhs, you're charging 15%. And then on the next 3 lakhs, you're charging 20%. And anything above that is charged at 30%. So you divide your income into small, small slabs. This is called slabbing. Now, as I asked you in the question, that what would be the tax on, suppose, first question was on 18 lakhs. So now 0 to 3 lakhs, that is on first 3 lakhs, tax is 0. 3 to 7 lakhs, that is on the next 4 lakhs, tax at 5%, 20,000. 7 to 10 pay, 3 lakh pay 10%. Then 2 lakhs pay 15%. Then 12 to 15, 3 lakhs pay 20%. And anything above 15 would be calculated at 30%. So 15 to 18 lakhs, that is on the next final 3 lakhs, it is coming to 30%. Total of all comes to 2,30,000 plus cess of 4%. As I told you, this is unset. Do not leave your answer saying that the final answer is 230. No. 4% cess comes to the liability of 2,39,200. Sorted? Similarly, 13 lakh ka if income is 13 lakh, 0 to 3 lakh, 0%, then 3 to 7 on the next 4 lakh, 5%, then on the next 3 lakh, 10%, then on the next 2 lakh, 15%. अब 13 lakh तक का income है तो 12 to 13 lakhs वाला last slab हुआ, that is on 1 lakh, 20%, because 12 to 15 तक I can say the tax is 20, but now since the income is only 13, so 12 to 13 pay, tax is coming 20%, there is no 30% need. Total tax comes to 1 lakh, increased by cess 1,04,000. Now you can do for 850 one more time. If you are not clear, then we can move ahead. And for 22 lakhs. Others also, kahi problem hai. Do not worry. We have time so that this can be polished. But do it once yourself. Do not see this Excel sheet. Swastika, is your answer there out? Prasant, Saurav? Sorry. Yeah, 8 lakh 50 pe, how will you calculate tax? First 3 lakhs nil. Up next slab is 3 to 7. So 4 lakhs, then next slab is 7 to 10. But my income is only till 850. So 7 to 850, 1 lakh 50,000 with 10%. So no use of 15, 20, 30% slab. Shall we move ahead? So a person cannot opt two schemes in a year. कि वो 115 BACB they are taking and old scheme they are taking कि नहीं for half year I'll apply 115 BAC and for half year I'll apply no old scheme no. One scheme for 1 year. In most of the cases you can change, but if you have a PGBP income you cannot change the scheme every year. Okay, one scheme per year. And default regime or default scheme, whatever name you want to say, it is correct. But write it in exam that we are doing the question as per this scheme. I'm saying again and again, क्योंकि भूल जाओगे, you will forget it and then you will think, yeah, we have done all correct. No. Nanya, shall we move forward now? Anyone else who is still on calculations? Perfect. Now this is the new scheme. What the old scheme taught about? Old scheme में the slab rate, there are three different types of rate. Three different types of rate. One is in general, one is for resident senior citizen and one is for resident super senior citizen. Now, technically, you see, there is no concept of resident senior citizen or super senior citizen when it comes to new scheme. That is the default regime. Default regime में all SSC is one rate. But in the old scheme or old scheme आपको कहाँ मिलेगा? Where you will find the rates of old scheme? In the Finance Act. In the Finance Act. Remember that, okay? So old scheme में there are three rates, three types of slabs. One is for people in general, one is for resident senior citizen. Who is a resident senior citizen? A person who is of the age of 60 or more in the previous year. In the previous year. Resident super senior citizen, a person who is the age of 80 or more in the previous year. Okay? So if you see the old regime, which is unchanged for years now, same chalta ja raha hai. It is absolutely same. 0 to 2,50,000. 0% rate, 2,50,000 to 5 lakh. That is the slab rate of next lakh 250, 5%, 5 to 10. That is on the 5 lakh, 20%, and 10 lakh above, 30%. Now, here, if I have to ask you what is the basic exemption limit, you will say the basic exemption limit as per the old regime is 2,50,000. Now, what is resident senior citizen and resident super senior citizen given benefit of? They are given a benefit of a better slab rates. Their basic exemption limit is increased. If you see, the basic exemption limit is increased by 50,000 for resident senior citizen. So if you're a resident senior citizen, instead of 2,50,000, you would not be charged to tax up to an income of 3 lakhs. So 0 to 3 lakhs, the tax is 0%. 3 to 5 lakhs, the tax is 5%. 5 to 10 is 20% and 10 above 30%. So only difference between the normal, the old regime and normal person के लिए and the senior citizen के लिए is that the basic exemption limit is increased. And resident super senior citizen के लिए 0 to 5 nil, 5 to 10 सीधा 20. There is no 5% and 10 above 30%. Now, someone asked that do we have to remember all the slab rates? Yes. You have to remember the old regime also, you have to remember the new regime also. Why so? Because sometimes in question you can have an option to calculate the tax as per your benefit. But question can come on comparison. And it's not necessary that always an old regime would lead a higher tax because there are higher slab rates and new regime would lead a lower tax because of lower slab rates. No. Because you have, and you cannot just compare income. It can happen that in new regime, the income is higher, but the taxes are lower as compared to the old regime. And it can happen vice versa also that in the new regime, the income is maybe higher, but the taxes are also higher. So there cannot be any fixed formula in conclusion that always a new scheme would be beneficial or always a old scheme would be beneficial. You have to pick up scenario by scenario. At your stage, a question can come with which scheme is better for a person, and it will not be a direct question. It can be checking over any provision. It can be checking of any T8 section, say 194P or any provision to see which thing is better. So you have to remember the slab rates completely and do not think that slab rates would be given to you in your question. No, slab rates would never be given to you. Okay, this is your bread and butter post qualification also, so you have to remember them. Now, suppose a person, I told you, the person who is turning 60 or more during the previous year is called a resident senior citizen, or 60 or more during the previous year, 80 or more, then he's called resident super senior citizen. Now, that means jiska bhi birthday, let me share it here. In the previous year, if a person is turning 60, even on the last day of the year, then also he will be called as resident senior citizen for that year. Now, interestingly, clarification is there that if your birthday falls, suppose I'm talking about previous year 23-24. So you will see whosoever is turning 60 in this year, they are resident senior citizen, or 80 or 80 this year, then they are resident super senior citizen. But a circular as clarification came that suppose a person is becoming resident, a senior citizen on 1st April 2024. That is on the immediate next year of the previous year. Then also he or she would be assumed to turn 60 in this year itself. Then also he or she would be assumed that they have turned 60 in previous year 23-24 itself, because they say that you complete a year just before a date, so you are technically 60 in the previous year 23-24 itself. So anyone who is like my mother, she turned 59 this year, for example, but she would be called as senior citizen for this year itself. Why? Because her birthday is on 1st April, and on 1st April 2025, she would be a 60-year-old, but for the previous year 24-25, she would be considered 60. Noted? ये चीज ध्यान रखना. It can be happen that at a very rare point you can be tested on this. Now back to the tax calculations. Again, marathon of the tax calculations. Everyone get set, go. Okay. So now that you have the slab rates in front of you, we calculated the tax on 13 lakhs in the old regime. Now quickly, it is there in front of you, but please be honest, 13 lakhs in default regime. What is the tax on 13 lakhs in new regime? Oh, sorry, in the old regime, sorry. 13 lakh in old regime, 8 lakh 50,000 in old regime, 22 lakhs in old regime. Quickly. Three taxes as per old regime now. 'Nanya, I want you to answer also. As per the old regime, what are the taxes? 13 lakhs pay, I got 2,10,600. Okay. Correct. 13 lakhs pay, 2,10,600 on 8,50,000. 85,800. Absolutely correct. Very good, Oja. Very good, Genie Oja. And Sangeeta, 18 lakhs, good, but on 22 lakhs. 22 lakhs, so 4 lakh 91 400. Pretty correct. Pretty much correct. Everyone pretty much correct. So I hope everyone's answer is matching. In case not, these are the calculations in front of your screen. Please see where you did the mistake. And if you're not answering, I'm assuming you are doing it for your own good, that you're solving it, but you're not writing in the chat. But please try to be active, okay? Because this is how you will only be able to practice. Otherwise, I know how students do this, okay, this. Do the tax calculations yourself. Okay, abhi to you're finding it very easy. When it is combined with special income, then surcharges are there. Then everyone goes haywire. Then somewhat or the other, the mistake comes. So, isliye, if you're getting an opportunity to do it from basic, from start itself, please be present. Very good, Vignesh. 2,10,600 and this is on 22 lakhs. Okay. Old scheme ka question if you're doing, the age is not mentioned in the question. What will you do? By default, you will calculate as per this 0 to 250, 250 to 5. If the age is mentioned, please be very careful. Now, this is how you read the question. Whenever any question come in front of you, mark who's the SSC, number one. Mark what is the age if it is given. I have made personal error in my exam that I did not see the age. I did all the answer correct, but tax calculation went wrong. Third thing which you have to mark is the residential status. Abhi tak 3 steps is this, okay? Mamta, is it all clear till now? Dhanya, is it clear? Sangeeta? Perfect. Super. So as you see, no problem, Dhanya. You get a time, at least match one so that the confidence is boosted. Okay. So as you see that rate calculation is pretty easy. Definitely it is easy. But special rates now play a very important role. But before going on that, if we compare income versus tax, always if you're taking same income in both the both the regimes, new regime or the default regime, obviously will give you lesser tax and lesser tax by a good amount. That is correct. But this is also a fact that if you have deductions, if you have house rent allowances, if you have self-occupied property, then this is a fact that then you have to be very careful to choose which income you have to follow. So if my advice, you go to anyone who would be joining the corporate world after qualification, new regime any given day is beneficial. But if you have to plan your taxes, if you have to take a benefit of all these investments which you are making, then old regime can be beneficial. But at any given day, if you are into a slab income of 6, 7 lakhs or even 8 lakhs or 9 lakhs, then new regime is beneficial to take a conclusion out of it. Okay. Now, we were on the topic of special rates. Now, as I told you at the beginning of tax calculation, that income tax is just not the normal slab rates. On special rates, irrespective of whichever SSC you are, special rates would be applicable. So, if suppose I have an income of 30 lakhs, out of this, 10 lakhs is special rate income and 20 lakhs is my normal rate income. By normal rate income, now you have to make a choice whether you want to go as per the default regime or whether you want to go as per the old provisions. This is your choice to do. But on this special rate income, always special rate would be applicable. Now, there are a lot of special rate which you will be learning throughout your income tax, because the non-resident wala module is all about special rates, to be very honest. A capital gain में special rates, and there is casual income and there are special rates. But some special rates we are just touching here for you to be familiar with it. But don't worry, these would be covered and detailed in the respective chapters, yes. But for just tax calculation purpose, today we are telling you what are the special rates, some common ones. First of all, if you're talking about long-term capital gain, and trust me, guys, you are in a very critical year, because there were two budgets and one main budget came in the middle of the year. So the special rates, if there is any change, till the time budget came, there is different rate. After the budget came, there is different rate. So your budget came on 23rd July. So before 23rd July, if the change has come by the new budget, the new Finance Act, then before 23rd July, there is different rate. After 23rd July, there is different rate. So you guys are in a tricky year, to be very honest. So you will be judged a lot on these special rates. So please be prepared. Please, what you say, please be embrace yourself that you would be test upon all these things. Okay. So special rate सबसे पहले on long term capital gain. Long term capital gain is taxed either under section 112 or 112A. 112 वाला long term capital gain is on general items, on general capital asset, except listed shares, listed equity shares, listed equity oriented mutual funds, and units of business trust. उसके अलावा if there is any long term capital gain, I write it here so that it's easy for you all. As a chart, I'll write, okay? So LTCG, you can make a note of it also. LTCG, there is one LTCG under section 112. Okay, and then there is one LTCG under section 112A. First, if I have to talk under section 112, now there is change. Next year, say all would be sorted. But here you have to remember, if it is before budget, that is before 23rd July, the resultant capital gain is before 23rd July or after 23rd July, or on or after, in fact. So if it is before 23rd July, then the rate is 20% and there is indexation benefits. IB I'm writing, okay? But if it is after 23rd July, the rate is 12.5%. Long-term capital gain ka rate is reduced, but there is no indexation benefit. Now, but if you are a resident, individual and HUF, if you are an individual or HUF and you are selling immovable property, land or building or both, and you have acquired this property before 23rd July, position, then the rate is at option. Option matlab, either you can pick this, that is 20% with indexation, or you can pick this, that is 12.5% without indexation. ठीक है, वो option है किसको? Only individual HUF land who are selling immovable property which is acquired before 23rd July, all three conditions. So in general, if you're not an individual HUF, then you have to be attentive when the capital gain was before 23rd July, 20% with indexation. If the capital gain is after 23rd July, 12.5% without indexation. Simple. Sorted? So ये सारी चीजें देखनी है. Now, for long-term capital gain, tax under 112A. These are all special rates. जिस पे there is special income and there is a rate defined, these rates would be applicable. Okay. Now the special rates under 112A, which is on listed equity shares, equity oriented mutual fund, and unit of business trust. Again and again, I'm saying that these would be covered in detail, but this is just a glance that you have to remember. इसमें क्या है? Before 23rd July, that is before budget, and after budget. So before budget, it was 10% on LTCG, excess of 1 lakh. And it was 12.5% now. The revised rate is 12.5% in excess of 1.25 lakhs. But maximum deduction, which maximum exemption for the tax which you'll get is 1.25 lakhs only. So you can write it here as 1.25 only. Don't worry. Okay, this is the special rate. Then one more special rate which you have to remember is on long-term capital gain or short-term capital gain. So short-term capital gain भी दो type के होते हैं. Everything is given in your book, but I'm just writing it as a flow chart for you all. Short-term capital gain एक होते हैं जो as per slab rates or SSE rates are taxable. So if I'm selling gold and there is short-term capital gain, so whatever applicable rate are there on your normal income, that would be applicable. So can I say short-term capital gain on general asset is not a special rate income, but short-term capital gain on those same assets, which is your listed equity shares, जिसपे 112A लगता है, listed equity shares, equity oriented mutual fund, and units of business trust. On them, short-term capital gain is tagged under 111A, 112A for long term, 111A for short term. The rate has increased for short term to make people more investment habit rather than trading habit. The rate is 15% before budget and 20% after budget. So this time, this year, you have a tough trick because you have to remember both before and after budget rates, and that to new, old, everything you have to remember together. Then there is casual income, which is like lotteries, etc. Uspe there is 30%. Then there is unexplained income, which we'll do today. Uspe rate is 60%. Okay. Any doubt on special rate income? You can give a look to it, read it once. Do not worry if you don't know what is long-term capital gain. Do not worry if you don't know about unlisted equity shares kya hai, different capital assets kya hai, because there is a chapter on it. There is definitely a class on it. This is just to give you a brief so that we can do questions further. There is a concept of unexhausted basic exhibition limit also, which is there covered in the capital gain. If you know, very good. If you don't know, hold your horses, okay? Don't worry. So any doubt on special rates and normal rates? Abhi one by one we are moving. Then we'll pick up surcharge, we'll pick up rebate, we'll pick up marginal relief. So one by one we are moving. Do not worry, step by step. किसी को कोई doubt? Anyone has any doubt? Yeah, Mamta. Unexplained money pe I'll come. Do not worry. We have a topic on in Dhanya. Okay, Mamta, I'll do that. So long-term capital gain, अगर listed equity shares, equity oriented mutual funds, and unit of business trust है, then there is 112A which is applicable. For other assets, it is 112. Long-term capital gain 112. So now, if you have generally, if you have ever studied about long-term capital gain, you may know that long terms are beneficial because they have indexation benefits. But government removed indexation benefit from this Finance Act, that is from 23rd July. Once they removed indexation benefit, they said, okay, we'll lower the rate. So what rate they have now applied? It is 12.5% with no indexation benefit. But before that, it was 20% with indexation benefit. Now, to give you more about the story, what happened when they removed 12.5, the indexation? There are people in India who have sentiments in relation to property and they have invested in property for years and they are getting passed on by those properties because of their father, grandfather, etc. So, property is one such sentiment in India, right? So, people were very, I'll not say annoyed, but people were taken aback when indexation benefit was removed. So, hearing all the representation, government said, okay, we will not completely remove the indexation benefit. We will give the indexation benefit, but to whom? But to only to individual NHF, only to individual HF who have land and building because their sentiments are attached, we understand. And that property was acquired before 23rd July. ठीक है? You're selling it after 23rd July, capital gain तभी होगा. But the property which we're talking about is acquired before 23rd July because you did not know about the budget changes and you had acquired property before 23rd July, no matter how many years ago. Then, if you sell it after 23rd July or on or after 23rd July, we will give you an option. That option means you can either go for 20% with indexation benefit, जो पहले था, or you can go for 12.5% with no indexation benefit. Totally your choice. But वो किसको मिलेगा? Only to these people. Only to the individual HF holding property, acquiring property before 23rd July, and that is either land or building or both. Sorted, Mamta? Definitely, I know you will be able to do it. Oja, very, very good. That's the spirit. I know this year, if you're preparing this year, is a trick, and a lot of question can be asked on this year's changes. So you have to be very careful when the long-term capital gain is happening, when the short-term capital gain is happening, what is the rate we have to see, which is the category of individual SSC we are talking about. Definitely. Hmm. So guys, this question ka example I've taken up with a special income. Now, question like this come, it will not be written special income. It would be given to you what is special income we're talking about. And right now, I'm doing the question as taking special income as your 20%. Okay, for just the sake of calculations. But it would be given to you what is that special bit income. Now, suppose I'm talking about a person who's having 25 lakh as income. Normal income is 15 lakhs, special income is 10 lakhs. So, normal income, you will calculate the tax and you will get 26 to 500. How? Other income is not other sources income, it's just for you to write. Slab rate, say if you'll calculate 15 lakhs, you'll get 22 lakh 62 500. Please check. Are you getting it? Old scheme. And on 10 lakh, you will get Special rate लगाओगे 10 lakh पे, suppose it's a long term capital gain before 23rd July, so I'm applying 20%, that comes to 2 lakh. Total combined normal and special is my tax plus increased by cess of 4%. My tax comes to 4,81,000. Any doubt? Similarly, suppose my income is 25 lakhs and special income is 9 lakhs. Please calculate the tax, total tax, if it's coming right, and calculate the tax on this. I know the answer is given to you, but I can be wrong. Please check. Quickly, on 480 total income and on 34 lakh total income, the breakup is on your screen. We're doing a lot of practical questions. यही सारे illustrations भी हैं. So I hope you get that confidence, okay? आ गया, मैच हो गया सबका? Sure. Very good, Dhanna. I'm so happy. Very good. So now you will be confident enough कि normal income पे कैसे निकालना. Normal income पे again you have a choice 115 BSc या old provisions. Totally your choice, but make sure you mention your choice clearly unless it is written in question. ठीक है? And special income वाला भी clear. I think special income का यहाँ पे कुछ problem होगा if it is not sorted. This brings me to the next concept, which is rebate. So now we come to the next concept, which is rebate. Now, what is rebate, guys, and why rebate is there, and why not another concept in relation to it has been there? Let's just discuss that. First of all, rebate is a concept which is there under section 87A. Under section 87A. Now, this is like a term which we in parlance, common parlance called discount. Rebate कुछ ऐसा ही है. Rebate is something like that only. It's a discount, or you can say a sort of reduction in the tax. Rebate is reduction in tax, but it's not given to everyone. It is only given to resident individual, only for resident individual. There is rebate for default regime also if you're following 115 BAC. There is rebate for old regime also, which has been going on. Again, no one in question will tell you that you have to apply rebate and calculate tax. This is your sense. How will you know that rebate has to be calculated when your total income, in case of old regime, is up to 5 lakhs. And by up to 5 lakhs means कि 5 lakh tak, if your total income is there, rebate would be given to you. So what is the rebate amount? The rebate amount is the tax which is coming, or 12,500, whichever is lower. So suppose my tax liability is coming to 10,000. So I will get a rebate of 10,000. Rebate की वजह से there would be no refund. And this is something not optional, you will get it. ठीक है? Or if I have a tax liability of say 11,000, or then the tax rebate would be 11,000. Generally, up to an income of 5 lakhs, if we calculate as per old regime, tax comes to 12,500. तो इसलिए अगर 5 लाख तक का income है, generally 12,500 full you get the rebate and no tax liability comes. First of all, this has to be done before cess, not after cess, before cess. ठीक है? Second thing, even if your income even increases by 1 rupee in the old regime, the benefit of rebate is gone. The benefit of rebate is gone. So at max at 4,999 tak you can, or 5 lakh tak you can feel the rebate. अब एक गलती मत करना, do not make that mistake which I did, is that okay, 5 lakh ka income is, and 5 lakh ka income tak basically there would be no tax. Yes, because everything goes at rebate. Either the tax which is coming, or 12,500, which is obviously calculated as per that 5 lakh ka calculation. So there would be no tax up to 5 lakhs. Absolutely correct. There would be no tax up to 5 lakhs as per old regime if you do not have any special rate income. If you have any special rate income, there can be a panga which I'll show you again. Okay, which you can see here. Now, if you see here, there is 4,80,000 ka total income. I did it in my exam. Oh, 4,80,000 ka income hai. That means there would be no tax. There would be no tax because rebate is there. And generally rebate is there, so no tax liability comes. But no, when a special rate question comes, I have to be double careful. Why? See, tax on other income, which is on 2,80,000, tax is coming to 1,500. But tax on 2 lakhs, a special rate income at 20%, tax is coming to 40,000, making it to 41,500. But maximum rebate is allowed is 12,500 on the tax amount. So here it is 12,500, and hence 29,000 is coming as tax, which on which I'm applying cess of 4%, 30,160 is coming as tax. So conclusion, up to 5 lakh, there would be no tax liability if there is no special rate income. If there is special rate income, you have to be very much sure with your calculation, because then the maximum rebate would be 12,500, and most likely you will be having a net tax liability. Second thing, this is allowed on all income, but not on income of 111A, not on income of 112A, because वहाँ पे already they give you a benefit of 1 lakhs on the tax calculation, or 1.25 lakhs on tax calculation. So there is no rebate on that particular tax. Thirdly, do not say that up to 5 lakh there is no tax, hence 5 lakhs is a basic exemption limit. Basic exemption limit as per old regime stays to 2,50,000. Don't make that mistake of saying that 7 lakh, 5 lakh the tax nahi aa raha because of rebate, so 5 lakh is the basic exemption limit. Okay? Because of all these small things, you'll make a mistake. Any problem in rebate as per old regime? Now we will be moving to rebate as per new regime. There would be a shuffling of old and new, old and new. Please, you guys are final students, so if you have any doubt, let me know there. Abhi tak tax rates, special rates, rebate as per old regime. Anyone has any doubt? Yes, even if it increased by 1 rupees, entire 5 lakhs पे tax लग जाएगा as per the old regime. But new regime, OJHA tends to answer this. They have brought some change in it. I'll let you know that. Now, this was rebate as per the old regime. Yes, even if there is a special income, still you can deduct 12,500. Up to an income of 5 lakh, 5 lakh means there's special income, 5 lakh means there's normal income. You can get a rebate of 12,500 except on triple one A income. Except on triple one A income. Okay. Now we move ahead to rebate as per new regime. Now, rebate as per new regime, very interesting. There is a trick here. Here, up to 7 lakh. This is also allowed to resident individual only. So question में, if a question is of resident individual, the total income is less than 5 lakhs, you're following old regime, rebate, focus. Similarly, if a resident individual is there, you are following new regime, 7 lakhs pay, trigger yourself, oh, I have to calculate rebate. So up to a total income of 7 lakhs, there would be a rebate concept, which is tax amount or 25,000, whichever is less. So surprisingly, they changed the slab rates, but they did not change this 25,000. इस बार slab rates change हुए ना, but this time they did not change the rebate amount. Rebate amount is still tax amount or 25,000, whichever is less, and both are not allowed on triple one A. Sorry, not triple one A, 112A. Why I'm saying wrong section. Okay. But here is one small catch. Here there is a concept which Jinny Oja was asking. Ma'am, even if it is increased by 1 rupee, there is no rebate. Technically, there is no rebate if even if it is increased by 1 rupee. But in the new scheme, if your income is increasing by 1 rupee or some certain degree amount, then there is a concept called marginal relief, which comes on rebate. So now let's understand it with the help of an example. Okay? So 115 BSC में भी resident only up to an income of 7 lakh, maximum rebate 25,000. Old regime में up to an income of 5 lakhs, maximum rebate was 12,500. New regime में 7 lakh 25,000. Remember? Now, second guys, 1 second, 1 second. Yeah. Though technically, okay, yeah. Sorry, this was only written. So, though technically on an income up to 7 lakhs, tax comes to 20,000 max if there is no special rate income. But rebate here is given up to 25,000. Rebate here is given up to 25,000. So, for example, if you have an income of 6 lakh 90,000, if you have an income of 6 lakh 90,000, इसको यहाँ पे change करेंगे. 1 second. So, tax on 6 lakh 90,000 comes to 19,500. This 19,500 would be your full rebate. Would be your full rebate. Now, what is the concept of marginal relief? This is to answer a pain point that if my income is increasing by suppose 10 rupees, 20 rupees, or 1,000 rupees, tax liability comes. Like for example, in this case, if my income goes to 7 lakh 20,000, right? 7 lakh tak there is no tax. 7 lakh tak there is no tax because rebate is there. If my income goes to 720, you will see the tax is coming off 22,000. You will see the tax is coming off 22,000, which is a pain. My income is increasing by how much? So from a level where there is no tax to a level there is tax. 7 lakh tak there is no tax. 7 lakh tak no tax. Income increased from 7 to 720. But the tax got increased from 0 to 22,000. From 0 to 22,000. Income increased from this point to this point, but tax increased from this point to this point. देखो ना 100% income increase का भी अगर मैं tax लगाऊं, if I tax on 100% increase on income, which is 20,000, the increase in tax is more than that because up to 7 lakh, the tax is nil. But on 7 lakh 20,000, the tax is coming to 22,000. But this concept, this pain point, they addressed in the new scheme. This pain point, they did address in the new scheme. This is not in the old scheme. Old scheme में 5 lakh से ऊपर no rebate. But when you are in new scheme, if your income is marginally rising, but your tax is rising more than marginal income increase, then you get a relief. Income increase कितने से हुआ? 20,000 से. Income got increased by 20,000. Tax got increased by 22,000. Now, this more than 100% increase in the tax is given as relief. Is given as relief. So this 2,000 would be given as relief. So when increase in income is less than increase in tax, or when the increase in tax is more than increase in income, howsoever you want to say, then you will be given as relief of more than 100% of income का increase. So 20,000 से ज़्यादा भी जो increase हुआ in the tax, that is 2,000, would be given as rebate relief to assessee. Would be given as rebate relief to assessee. So the final tax liability would be 22,000 less this 2,000 rupees ka rebate, that is 20,000 plus cess of 4%, that comes to 20,800. That comes to 20,800. There is a similar question, illustration 9, which is given in your book, which is for 7,15,000 income. You can do that also. Got it? Yes? No. Why are we putting it? When the income is increasing marginally, but the tax is increasing more than the marginal increase. So, ma'am, how will we get to know we have to apply rebate? Generally, we have to apply this concept of relief when you're following new scheme and the income is like 720, 730, at max 727, 730 tak. Then be careful to apply, to check if on 7 lakh there is no tax, what is the tax coming on 7 lakh 20 or 25,000? Okay. Then income कितने से बढ़ा? 7 lakh to 7 lakh 25,000, only 25,000. Tax कितने से बढ़ा? 0 to, if the increase in tax is more than increase in income, it's a concept of relief. Had this increase in tax been only 19,000 or 18,000, then there would have been no concept of relief. So had my increase in tax would have been less than increase in income, no concept of this particular relief or rebate relief. Noted? So if you want to do illustration 9, please go ahead so that the concept is sealed completely. It's on page number 1.66. I'll open for you all. And rebate concept only on resident individual, not on everyone, okay? There is one marginal relief on surcharge also, that is also the same concept only. So you can do illustration 8, you can do illustration 9, and you can do illustration 10. We are good to go with all of this. Come on, come on. Close your concept, guys. इसके बाद the journey is all technical. your basic tax calculation would not be strong. So today is the time you build that tax calculation. So we did the tax slab rates as per new old with example. Then we understood special rate with example. Then we understood rebate with example, new and old. Okay. And we have practiced the question also. So abhi kisi ko they need any question more? There is illustrations on your screen. Any doubt on anything? Because post break now we will pick up surcharge. We will pick up surcharge, which would be interestingly covered with examples for both new and old. We'll pick up old first because if old is clear, new is pretty simple. So, but that is very technical. So please be ready with your calculators. And if there is any doubt, please let me know. Okay. मैच हो गया illustration 8 हो जा okay. Illustration 9 is now your test of relief. Anyone has any doubt up till now? So post break, next half an hour would be on surcharge, whereby we'll be understanding the concept of surcharge for both new and old scheme. And then we'll pick up other SSEs. Other SSEs are very easy, don't worry. And then once we are done, we'll go to the unexplained income wallet subject. Okay. So if you're sorted, let's take a quick 10 minutes break and we'll be right back in next 10 minutes. Please have something, get freshen up. We'll be back. All set in? Shall we now move to another concept in the tax calculation, that is now surcharge. Surcharge, why is there a surcharge? Who got surcharge? Let's understand that. So I'd say almost 10, 12 years back, or more than 12 years back, almost half a decade before, there was wealth tax. I know it is not important for you to understand wealth tax, but listen. So there was wealth tax. A wealth tax, why there was there? Because India में there is a system called progressive taxation. If you have high income, you need to pay high taxes. ठीक है? Now, wealth tax got, it was also one type of direct tax which was there on the wealth of this SE. Entire wealth was calculated and then tax was given, but it was age old concept, 1950s, say it was going on, that got abolished. Now, once that got abolished, surcharge was introduced in the concept of tax itself. Surcharge was introduced in the concept of tax itself. Now, what is surcharge? Let's see. Sorry. Yeah. So once you calculate your tax as per slab rates or tax as per special income and you add them up, if your total income, if your total income is crossing a certain amount, then tax on tax is calculated. Then what is that? Tax on tax is calculated through surcharge. Everyone on the screen, please. So if here we're strictly talking about individuals, HF, AOP, BY, and AGPs. So if my income is more than 50 lakhs, surcharge gets triggered. Up to an income of 50 lakhs, there is no surcharge. Surcharge gets triggered immediately after an income of 50 lakhs. Okay? So again, no one will tell you in question that you have to compute the tax liability considering surcharge. No. If the question is of an income of more than 50 lakhs, you automatically have to consider surcharge. Just like if an income is up to 5 lakhs and under old regime, you considered such a rebate. Similarly, under old regime, and we are not talking about old regime specifically. Similarly, under old regime, if the income crosses 50 lakhs, you have to consider surcharge. Now, how this is calculated, just to give you a brief, surcharge on an income of 50 lakhs to 1 crore is 10%. Now, this 10% is not 10% of income. Taxes on income, this is 10% of tax. Surcharge, extra charge. Extra charge किस पे लगेगा? Tax का extra charge. That's why 10% on the tax amount. Tax amount which is coming after all special, non-special, other, normal, old scheme, whatever. Final tax liability, जो भी tax liability you've computed. If an income is of more than 1 crore to 2 crore, surcharge is 15%. If an income is of more than 2 crore but is up to 5 crore, surcharge is 25%. If an income is of more than 5 crore, surcharge is 37%. You can, for the time being, ignore that stars which you can see here on an income of 2 and 5 crore. But these are not slab rates. Do not say कि 50 लाख से 1 crore के income पे 10% लगेगा. No, this is the rate which you have to pick for calculation of surcharge. Suppose my income is 2.5 crore, surcharge rate is 25%. If an income is say 1.5 crore, surcharge is 15%. So now let's see the case 1 and case 2 to see how we compute surcharge. I will be doing entire step-by-step calculation with you for the old scheme. Then the new scheme you can practice. Okay? So let's start. Now in case 1, if you see, case 1 may, I'm hypothetically doing all the question taking special rate income at 20% under section 112, that is long-term capital gain happened before 23rd July. Okay, for the ease of calculations. Now, question may again 20% nahi diya hoga. You have to see what is the nature of capital gain, what is the nature of special rate income, when did it incur, and automatically you have to apply the rate. Now, suppose the income is 60 lakhs. So I know this is a question of surcharge. Why? Because my income is more than 50 lakhs. How will I start with? On 60 lakh income, I have to first calculate tax. First step is calculating tax. How will I calculate tax? On special rate income, special tax. On normal income, normal tax. So special income पे tax निकाला 45 lakhs का 20% comes to 9 lakh. And on normal income, tax निकाला as per old scheme 15 lakhs का slab rates पे करो, it comes to 2,62,500. 1 lakh 1,12,500 plus for 5 lakh by 30%, it will come to 262,500. Okay. Now on this, I calculated this is my total tax. Now, since the income is 60 lakhs, surcharge rate is 10%. On total tax of 11 lakh 62,500, surcharge is coming to 10%, which is 1 lakh 16,250. Simple. On that, I will now apply cess. Cess would now be on tax plus surcharge, both combined, which is 12 lakh 78,750. Plus cess, total tax comes to 13 lakh 29,900. So on an income of 60 lakhs, a person is giving 13 lakh 29,900 as a final tax with surcharge and cess, which is average out 22%. A question may, if an average rate of tax is asked, do not get confused what is average rate. Average is what you do in maths. Total tax upon my total income. So total tax upon my total income is coming to 22%. Question can be of total maximum marginal rate. I'll discuss that also. But what is your average rate? Do not get confused on that. Anyone has any doubt in case one? If no doubt, then be a good kid and tell me the tax, total tax, feel confident on 1 crore 5 lakh ka income. The breakup is given to you on your screen, 45 lakhs and 60 lakhs. मुझे खुश करने के लिए नहीं, calculate yourself quickly. Come on, come on. Okay, so I've received. Also, other income was 60 lakhs. Special ed income was 45 lakhs. Did you guys get the answer? Okay, let's see. 45 lakhs pay, special rate, simple 20%. 60 lakhs pay, calculated as per your slab rates, you'll get 16 lakh 12,500. I hope you have got it, okay? Then on total tax, that is 25 lakh 12,500 pay, you will calculate surcharge at the rate of 15%, which comes to 376,875 plus cess all combined. Cess दोनों पे combine करके guys, you come to 30 lakh 4,950. Yes, sorted. सबका आंसर मैच्ड. परफेक्ट. बिकॉज अब यहां तक अगर क्लियर नहीं हुआ तो आगे वाला इज अ ट्रिकी थिंग. So please let me know if the answer is coming or not. Then only I'll move forward. Super, Vignesh. Super. Very good. Now on case 3, let's focus. Case 3 and case 4 are very typical, very important. So if you think you know, very good. If you don't think, please focus now. Now I have put an asterisk. On an income of more than 2 crore, on an income of more than 2 crore, up to and 5 crore, the surcharge is 25%. But on an income of more than 5 crore, surcharge is 37%. Right? Correct? Written, noted. But here there is an asterisk which you can see where you will see that on dividend, on 111A, on 112 and 112A. These are the sections, and these are all, if you see, capital gain related income or investment related income. On that, maximum surcharge is 15%. Maximum surcharge is 15%. अब ये क्या concept है? Again, backstory. So, couple of years back, they changed the maximum surcharge from a rate of 15 to 25%. There was a huge jump, and this was very demotivating for the foreign institutional investors who were in India, for people who purely invested in Indian market. They were like that we invested in Indian market because we were getting beneficial rate. But now you're putting a surcharge of 25%, which makes our taxes go to an extremely high amount of 40% and etc. etc. So they said we are not ready for it. So the government said, okay, since you invested by in us having trust, so whatever capital gains and whatever investment related income you're having, uspe we will apply maximum surcharge of 15%. But we are making this change only for these type of income. For other incomes, we are not making change. So suppose in this 2 crore 20 lakhs, I have 111A income or 112A income. एक तो उस पे special rate तो लगेगा, right? But along with that, there would be a maximum उस पे surcharge would be of 15%, not of 25%, not of 25%. Even if this amount of income is 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, so you say 1 lakh, 2 lakh income, but there is no tax, or 1 lakh, 2 lakh pay 15% surcharge should not be there. No, if my income is crossing more than 2 crore, at that time I have to be more careful. If my income is crossing more than 2 crore, then I have to check, is there any special rate income? Yes, there is special rate income. What is the surcharge should be on that, whether 25% or 15%. If that special rate income is of 111A, 112 or 112A or dividend, maximum surcharge would be 15. If there is other special rate income like 115BB or your casual income of 115BBA, then there is no point in checking those breakup. Usme and on entire tax 25 aega. But only on these types of thing, there is a capping of surcharge. This is called capping of surcharge. Now let me give you an example. In this case, 45 lakhs is my special rate income. On your screen, please. And other income is 2 crore 15 lakhs. Total income is crossing 2 crore, 2 crore 60 lakhs ho gaya, right? Now, 2 crore 60 lakhs pe, let's calculate first tax, similar 45 lakh pe 20%. 2 crore 15 lakhs pe slab rates, that comes to 62, 500. 62 lakh, 62,500. You want to check 2 crore 15 lakhs pe itna aa raha hai tax? Check it quickly. Got it? Perfect. Now, total tax कितना आया? 71 lakh 62,500. अभी तक what you were doing? Surcharge you were applying directly on the tax which is coming with special rate and normal rate. Total tax combined करके you were applying surcharge. Only when the income is crossing 2 crore, you have to be very careful. Now, since the income crossed 2 crore, I cannot apply max surcharge of 25% on this entire income. Why? Because in this entire income, there is this 45 lakhs, जिस पे maximum surcharge कितना लगेगा? How much maximum surcharge would be applied? 15%. So on 45 lakhs, 20%, which is the tax. On 9 lakhs, I will apply surcharge of 15%. And on 62 lakhs, 62,500, I'll apply surcharge of 25%. So you see this surcharge of 17 lakh 625 is coming as 9 lakh pay 15 and 62 lakh 62,500 pay 25. Correct? आया समझ? Perfect. Now you come to the final tax, which is tax, the surcharge. 88, 63, 125. Cess 4%. Total tax comes to 92 lakhs on an income, 92 lakhs something on an income of 2 crore 60, which is an average of 35% you're paying as tax. Sorted. Now, if I tell you case 4, I'll tell you case 4 is also an income case of 2 crore 5 lakhs. But my friend, it is not same to case 3. See, case 4 में भी 2 crore से ज़्यादा income है. Right? Case 4 में भी there is special rate. Case 4 में भी the income is of more than 2 crore. Case 4 में भी there is special rate. But here surcharge has a different catch. Let's see how. Now, my income is 2 crore 5 lakhs. Here, you will say, ma'am, you said on 45 lakhs pay, whatever tax is coming, us pe surcharge would be 15%. On the remaining amount, that surcharge would be 25% because the total income is more than 2 crore. Correct. But now, the other income, which is excluding this income, just by capping here. Other income, excluding the income on which the capping of surcharge is there of 15%, is not more than 2 crore, right? It's not more than 2 crore. Though my total income is more than 2 crore, but if I exclude that special rate income, just by there is capping of surcharge, then my income is left what? Only less than 2 crore. Why unnecessarily this income should pay a higher surcharge of 25%? Because higher surcharge of 25% में वो क्यों आ रहा है? Because of the total income crossing 2 crore. But the 45 lakhs pay, there is a capping of 15%. Unnecessarily 160 pay. Why I should pay 25% when without 45 lakhs my income would not cross 2 crore? When without that special rate income, my income would not have crossed 2 crore. I would have not paid tax of higher surcharge of 45%, right? Higher surcharge of 25%. But just because of this 45 lakhs, I have to pay higher surcharge of 25%. So the government said, correct. Because of the income on which there is a capping, you cannot pay a higher surcharge. You should not, technically, you should not pay a higher surcharge because ye to apna 45 lakh pay, they took 15% and sit back and relax. Why unnecessary? The other income should pay tax on a higher surcharge of 25% when without that income, they're not crossing 2 crore, right? When without that income, they're not crossing 2 crore. So in this scenario, when total income is crossing 2 crore, but my other income without that special rate is not crossing 2 crore. So other income पे भी maximum surcharge last वाला लगेगा. Maximum surcharge would be of the last rate, which is 15% in this case. Now you see here, 45 lakhs per tax comes to 9 lakh. 1 crore 60 lakhs per tax comes to 46 lakh 12,500 as per slab rate. Quickly, you want to calculate? Take 1 minute. Quick short. Okay. Okay. Now on this total 55 lakh 12,500, अब technically तो 9 lakh पे it is sealed and closed, that whenever the income is crossing 2 crore, special rate income पे tax would be the special rate, but surcharge would be 15%. Total income जहां 2 crore cross हुआ, you have to be careful that special income of 11A, 112A, 112 and dividend pays maximum surcharge would be 15%. But on this 46 lakh 12,500 also, maximum surcharge would be 15%, not 25%. This is the difference between case 3 and case 4. Very good, Roja. Now it comes to total surcharge of 8,26,875. And now the final tax liability with cess comes to 65,92,950. Please calculate it once. See case 3 and case 4 once. Take 2 minutes. This is the time where you can get to analyze all these things. No other chapter will do it in detail. So take use of this opportunity. And I'm telling you often again, what are the triggering points? What are the points you have to remember while doing it? So please make sure that you are marking it as red flags, not red flags of real life, but red flags, so that you know, okay, we have to take care of it. Flag it up. Case 3, case 4, Please go through, and jab tak everyone would not say that it is clear, I'll not move forward. Rajesh, Ankita, Poonam. How many of you knew about this concept before today's class? Or how many of you learned it today? Because I know tax calculations most of you must have been doing in your articleship, but these small, small things, this is where you will be tested in the exam also. And again, as I said, this chapter is a foundation. Dedicate this two classes completely so that you don't have to read this chapter again and again. Very good, Oja. Very, very good. Now we come to case 5 and case 6. Okay. Now case 5 and case 6 are also similar, but now the income is crossing 5 crore. So first we'll do case 6. In case 6, my total income is 5 crore 55 lakhs. My special rate income is 45 lakhs. My other income is 5 crore 10 lakhs. Now on again 45 lakhs, tax is 20%, 9 lakhs. And on 5 crore 10 lakhs, the tax is coming to 1 crore 51 lakhs 12,500. ठीक है? Sorted 5 crore 10 lakhs से slab rates निकाला 1 crore 51 lakhs 12,500. Okay. Now let's do the surcharge calculations. It is clear that the moment the total income is crossing 2 crore, special rate 112, 1128, 111A and dividend pay, maximum surcharge is 15%. So quickly 9 lakh pay maximum surcharge would be 15%, simple. And on 1 crore 51 lakh 12,500 surcharge would be 37% because income is more than 5 crore. Sorted? So 9 lakh pay 15%, 1 crore 51 lakh 12,500 pay 37% surcharge. Total tax comes to 2 crore 17 lakhs 39,125. Ad says final answer is on your screen. So basically, when you're earning almost 5 crore plus, you're paying almost a tax of 40% plus. So 40% of your wealth is going as tax, sadly, because if you're earning more, you have to pay more. This is the tax reality. Okay. Now, case 5, same thing. Case 5 may we will now learn the same thing applied here. Income is crossing 5 crore, but my other income without that special rate capping surcharge wala income is not crossing 5 crore. So why other income should pay higher surcharge? Nahi banta sense. No sense, right? So on this income ka tax, the surcharge would be last wala 25%, which is generally had there been no income of 45 lakhs, surcharge on this would be 25%. So let's do that. 45 lakhs pay, 20%, 4 crore 60 lakhs pay. Slab rates, 1 crore 36 lakh 12,500. Then surcharge, 9 lakh pay 15 and 1 crore 36 12,500 pay 25%. Even if the income is crossing 5 crore, but my other income without that capping surcharge wala income is not crossing 5 crore, so surcharge of higher limit not applicable. You will not find questions with so much detailing and comparing. So if you know, very good. If you don't know, take this time to practice. I'm saying it again and again. Final students, so no one will come and he after you, so you have to do it on your own. Final tax match हो गया, which says 1 crore 87 lakh 72 650. If you have not done, do it. I'm giving you 2 minutes. And give me a green light that yes, it is clear and sorted. ये जो एवरेज रेट में फर्क आ रहा है, दिस इज बिकॉज ऑफ सरचार्ज. यहाँ पे हायर सरचार्ज है, एवरेज रेट ऑफ टैक्स इज गोइंग टू 40%. यहाँ पे सरचार्ज इज 25% ऑन द अदर इनकम, एवरेज रेट इज कमिंग टू 37%. नीले ज्योति, एवरीवन सॉर्टेड. Feel very good. Now let's surcharge wala thing clear? Sorted. Now let's move to the surcharge as per the new scheme. New scheme में surcharge is similar, is absolutely similar. बस यहाँ पे 37% है ही नहीं. यहाँ पे maximum surcharge is 25%. बाकी concept is similar, that if the income is more than 2 crore, then the maximum surcharge on dividend 111A, 112, 112A would be 15%. ठीक है. इवन इफ वो ये वाली इनकम 1 लाख भी है, तो अगर टोटल इनकम मोर देन 2 करोड़ है, 1 लाख पे टैक्स एंड देन 90%, देन 15% मैक्सिमम सरचार्ज. सेम इफ एन इनकम इज मोर देन 50 lakhs. Now this is new scheme, everyone, in case you have missed the road. Okay. If an income is more than 50 lakhs, up to 1 crore, 10% surcharge. More than 1 crore, up to 2 crore, 15% surcharge. More than 2 crore, 25% surcharge. There is no 37% in new scheme. So what are benefits besides slab rate is that new scheme does not have a 37% rate. Interesting? बाकी यहाँ पे भी same capping है. So with this, let me just give you case. Cases are there on your screen: case 1, case 2, case 3, and case 4. Though it is your homework, but to boost your confidence, if you want to try as per new scheme, what would be the final tax liability, please do it for case 3 and case 4 right now. Take 5 minutes, do it. I'm here only. We'll match the answer. Case 3 and case 4, तसल्ली से. पहले तो सब screen पे था. Now, case 3 and case 4, I want the answer. New scheme. 5 minutes, solve it आराम से. Uh, Oja, my video is not stopped. It is a question time to you. You have 2 more minutes to solve case 3 and case 4 on the screen. Quickly solve it. The screen is not visible. Rates दिख नहीं रहे. 1 second. Okay, I've got answer from Vignesh. Let's do the revolution key if everything is right. 1 more minute, guys. Then we'll reveal the answer. Okay. Shall we? Dhanya, very good. I'm so proud. You got the answer correct. Vignesh, कहाँ गलती हुई बेटे? दोनों में problem. There is some error. Correct? Okay. So calculations on the screen. Vignesh, error कहाँ हुआ? So that everyone can see this has not to be done. On 2 crore 60 lakhs, if I have to calculate the tax, I know surcharge of 25% would be applicable as per the new scheme. Now the new scheme के taxes are, error पता चल गया विघ्नेश? Perfect. 45 lakhs पे 20%, 2 crore 50 lakhs पे tax would come to 61 lakh 40,000. Then 9 lakhs पे 15%, 61 lakh 40,000 पे 25%. Cess add करके final tax comes to 90 lakh 58,400. Now on this way, यहाँ पे you have to be more careful because even if income is crossing 2 crore but other income is not crossing 2 crore, उस पे maximum surcharge would be the last one, which is without taking that income of special capping. तो उस पे it would be 15%. So 45 lakhs पे 9 lakh tax and surcharge 15%, 1 crore 60 lakhs पे tax 44 lakh 90,000, surcharge 15%, surcharge 15%, and hence final tax liability comes to 64, 46, 440. Sorted? कोई गलती नहीं होगा अब से? Sure? Everyone, yes? Confident? Perfect. So, abhi tak surcharge mein what we have learned that there are 3 different types of surcharge rate when it comes to new scheme, 4 surcharge rates when it comes to old scheme. We have to pick the total income and pick which surcharge is applicable. But at the same time, we have to be careful if the total income has special rate income under 112, 1128, 1118 and dividend, then we have to max the surcharge at 15% if the total income is more than 2 crore. Correct? And also at the same time, if the total income is crossing more than 2 crore and these special capping incomes को exclude करके the income is not crossing 2 crore or 5 crore as the case may be, maximum surcharge would be the last one wala. Okay, sorted, short, clear, surcharge topic over, almost over. One last concept which is of relief, which is now we'll be covering up. No worries, no worries, Roja. अभी तक सबका sorted है. Case 1 and case 2 you can do as your homework. Answers are on your screen. Question is also there on the screen. Now, यहाँ पे भी there's a concept of marginal relief. Just like थोड़ा सा marginal relief on rebate we saw under the new scheme, there's a concept of marginal relief on surcharge, which is an age-old concept. Here also the same thing happens. Everyone on the screen, please. How would I know this question is of surcharge when your income is crossing 50 lakhs? How would I know the concept is of marginal relief when the income is crossing 50 lakhs or 1 crore or 2 crore or 5 crore even, all these slabs wala thing, by marginal amount, by marginal amount. Okay, by marginal amount. My marginal amount. Marginal amount means 1 lakh, 1,50,000. Then you have to be careful that this is the concept of marginal relief. Because as we all know, why marginal relief in surcharge? Because we know that by surcharge, the tax would be increased. Because of surcharge, the tax would be increased. Now, what will happen? The income might be increased just by 100 rupees, 1,000 rupees, or even lakh rupees by 50 lakhs, which is the first triggering point. But because of surcharge, the tax would increase more than the increase in income. Same situation if the increase in income is less and the increase in tax is more. Increase in income is less and the increase in tax is more. So whatever is the additional amount, it would be given to you as a relief. So whatever is the additional amount would be given to you as relief, or whatever is over and above the 100% of increase in income would be given to you as relief. Let's see the question. When question this, we have been given Mr. Arpit is having an income of 51 lakhs and he has exercised the option of shifting out of section 115 BAC. It is written in the question. Okay? That means we have to follow old regime. Now, on 51 lakhs income, if I calculate tax, it comes to 13 lakh 42,500. And add surcharge 10%, right? It comes to 1 lakh 34,250, which is 14 lakh 76,750. But अगर मेरा income only 50 lakhs होता, if my income would have been only 50 lakhs, tax would have come as 13 lakh 12,500. Tax would have come as 13 lakh 12,500. Income बढ़ा from 50 to 51, 1 lakh rupees से. Tax बढ़ा from 13 lakh 12,500 से कितना? 14 lakh 76,750. How much does it come, students? Calculator निकालो. Okay. Thank you हो गया. हाँ. You guys have said 164, 250. Okay. Increase in income is more than increase in tax, because even if I tax my 100% increase in income, then also the tax is coming more than that. So that additional amount over the increase in income, that is 1 lakh income bada, tax bada 164, 250 say. So this 64, 250 would be my relief, would be my marginal relief, would be my marginal relief. So now the fresh tax would be, मुझे ये वाला मेथड बेस्ट लगता है. फ्रेश टैक्स वुड बी 14,12,500 because on 14,76,750, relief come to 64,250. Fresh taxes 14,12,500. Now I will add cess. Relief have to be calculated before cess. Sorted? It comes to 14,69,000. Now, if a question comes to 1 crore 1 lakh, तब क्या करेंगे? 1 crore तक की इनकम पे टैक्स निकालोगे, 1 crore 1 lakh पे टैक्स पे सरचार्ज निकालोगे. Compare it over and above the increase in income would be a relief that you have to reduce with the tax per surcharge wala amount. And simple, then add cess. So quickly now do illustration 3 on your screen. You have to follow the default regime now. एक बार ये रिलीफ समझ आ गया लाइफ में, you can solve it pretty easily. Go guys, come on. Go students, go friends, whatever you like to address that. Illustration 3, 1 crore 1 lakh pay, you have to calculate the final tax. Whenever a question is of tax liability, do not think and someone will tell you have to apply surcharge, you have to apply rebate, you have to apply cess. This is your automatic processing which has to come through question practice. And confidence would be increased only by question practice. And increase in income, increase in tax. If increase in tax is more than increase in income, it's a question of marginal relief. Trigger points would be when the income is increasing marginally by a lakh or 1.5 lakh after your final last surcharge wala limit 50, 1 crore, 2 crore, 5 crore. So same question can apply. See, this class would have been of only 1 hour if I would have just quickly told you these are the rates, these are the rebate, this is the surcharge. Bas, 1 hour mein this would have been over. But I really wanted you to practice step by step. That's why I practice first the slab rates, then the special rates, then the rebates, then the surcharge, step by step, and then the marginal relief. चलिए आगे. Sorted everyone? Perfect. Now illustration 3 is done. Same 1 crore 1 lakh pay. Tax final would come to 31,81,000 after a relief of 69,000. Question, if a question comes to you for an MCQ, please read carefully what the question is asking. Whether the question is asking about the marginal relief, then you have to stop your answer at 69,000. If the question is of tax liability, if the question is of surcharge amount, whatever is the final question, please read it. And this marginal relief is on the surcharge part. That is 69,000 किस पे रिलीफ मिल रहा है? On 4,08,000. ठीक है. So your book is full of questions like illustration 4, 5, completely of these particular aspect. So now we move to other SSE. Few in one, almost 2 hours, we have completed the entire taxation of individual HUF, AOP, BOI, and artificial juridical person. Basically, the slab rates assessee along with surcharge, rebate, cess, marginal relief, everything. So are we all sorted? Cool, perfect. Now let's move to the tax rates applicable to firms and company. Now to the firms, LLP, local authority, तीनों दोनों पे 30%. There is a flat rate which you can see on the screen on the entire income except the special rate income. Special rate income पे same concept goes to what goes to the individual HF, AOP, BOI, SSE. Since you have learned, practiced the slab rates while SSE, these are cakewalk for you. Here also surcharge is there, but surcharge is there only when the total income exceeds 1 crore. Surcharge is of 12%. There is no different surcharge rate. 1 crore से income cross हुआ 12% rate. Marginal relief, yes, आएगा when the income is increasing marginally by 1 crore. Then the concept of marginal relief would be there. Simple, sorted. So on an income of 2 crore, surcharge tax would be 30%, then surcharge would be 12%. Until there is special rate income. Cooperative societies. बहुत सारे लोगों को, a lot of people have a conception that cooperative societies पे भी sorry, slab rates are applicable like individual HUF. On an income of, I should write it like this, to 20,000, taxes 20% slab. And on income of 20 above, tax is 30%. So if my income is say 25,000, it would be on the first 10%, then on the next 10, 20%, and on the next 5, 30%. Okay? But because a lot of us ignore cooperative society rate, so most of us get this wrong. There is also an alternate regime, which is again discussed under your assessment of entities chapter that you will see there. Okay. Now we move on to surcharge for cooperative societies. Same if an income is from 1 crore to 10 crore, surcharge is 7%. If an income is of more than 10 crore, surcharge is 12%. Let's move to companies, domestic company and foreign company. In India, domestic company has better rates than foreign company. Another change for foreign company is the rates are reduced. The rates are reduced for foreign company from this year onwards. That is for your previous year, 24-25 onwards. Now domestic companies have two schemes going on for them, which is one scheme is 115 BAA and 115 BAB. 115 BAA and 115 BAB. This is for new domestic companies, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग जिसका नया शुरू हुआ है मेक इन इंडिया को प्रमोट करने के लिए. दिस इज फॉर जनरल डोमेस्टिक कंपनी. अगेन दीज स्कीम्स आर कवर्ड इन डिटेल इन योर chapter of assessment of entities. But in general, if you're not following the regimes, which is of BAA or BAB, then normal rates are applicable. जैसे optional scheme है ना of BAC for individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AGP. Similarly, optional scheme है of BAA and BAB, that is 115 BAA and 115 BAB for domestic company. ठीक है? But domestic company के लिए what is the rate? Domestic company के लिए rate for, we're talking about previous year, 24-25. Okay? The rates depend upon the turnover. If in the previous year, 22-23, if in the previous year, 20 to 23, the total turnover is more than 400 crores, then, sorry, the total turnover is less than 400 crores, up to 400 crores, then 25%, otherwise 30%, otherwise 30%. ठीक है. If the turnover is less than 400 crores, 25%. If the turnover is more than 400 crores, 30%. But in which year? Not in previous year 24-25, because previous year 24-25 ka to you are calculating the tax and you have to pay advance tax, so you should know your rate in advance, right? And why not last year is taken as base? Why not previous year 23-24 is taken as base? Do you know why? Because the budget generally come in the preceding year, when suppose previous year 24-25 ka to khair abhi this year this is an exception, but otherwise the budget would have come in February 24, right? In which already the books of financial year 23-24 must have been running. If they announce attractive rates based on turnover, any entity can play with the turnover, correct it automatically to get the benefit. So that's why they did not pick for previous year 24-25 the base of turnover as previous year 23-24. They have picked it 22-23, यानी 2 साल पहले. Similarly, अगर आप previous year 25-26 का rate you have to check, so maybe the turnover of previous year 23-24 has to be seen. But now in your question, previous year 24-25 का rate निकालने के लिए you will see the turnover of previous year 22-23. If the turnover, this is not the income, this is the turnover, the main business se turnover is of more than 400 crores, is of more than 400 crores, 30%. Is less than or equal to 400 crores, 25%. It can happen that in, suppose karo in previous year 23-24, the turnover was 500 crores. In previous year 22-23, the turnover is say 450 crores. And in previous year 24-25, the turnover is below 400 crores, say 390 crores. Even if in the present year in question, the turnover is less than 400 crores, but since the base year which we have to see to pick up the rate, then at that time the turnover was more than 400 crores, higher rate would be applicable. Okay? इस साल क्या turnover है? नहीं है, does not matter. Whatever is the turnover this year or not does not matter. Whatever is the turnover preceding year does not matter. Before that year matters, and that you have to see. Again, vice versa situation can also happen, that maybe in 22-23 you have a 390 crore turnover, then you have 410 crore turnover, and now you have 450 crore turnover. But previous year 22-23 it was less than 400 crore. The rate applicable for the income of previous year 24-25 would be 25% only. Base year has to be correctly checked. To confuse you, 3 rates, 3 years, 3 turnovers can be given to you. You have to wisely pick which year turnover matters to calculate the rate. Noted? Any doubt on the turnovers? Sure? Sorted? रीजन भी समझ आ गया why we are taking up एक साल से पहले, why we are taking up 1 year छोड़ के the turnover, that is also clear. Perfect. I know बार बार yes ma'am no ma'am लिखना is problematic, but please, since I cannot see you, so this is a small effort I want from your side. Now what is the surcharge? Surcharge in case of domestic company, again, total income. Surcharge is always depends upon total income, whether you're calculating for anyone. The rate of surcharge depends upon the total income, but it is calculated on the tax amount. Total income more than 1 crore, but up to 10 crore, surcharge 7%. Total income more than 10 crore, surcharge 12%. So firm के केस में surcharge 12% on an income of more than 1 crore. Foreign company के केस में surcharge है 2%, 5%, and domestic company के केस में surcharge है 7%, 12% on an income of 1 crore up to 10 crore and above 10 crore respectively. Thank you, Ja. Sorted? Sure. Now let's do see the trick question, illustration 6, which is, or last slide of conclusion should be this. If a question is of anything, your last line should tell what is the conclusion of the answer. If it's a synopsis question, as in analyze the question and give it, then also you have to tell if a question like this comes, like assessing officer is correct, not correct. Final line should clearly tell what is the solution. Okay. So hodgepodge, do not do that. Okay. Coming back to illustration. Compute marginal relief available to X Limited, a domestic company, assuming that the total income is 1 crore 1 lakh for assessment year 25-26. There's no special rate income and they have not exercised any alternate regime. Gross receipt has been given to us in question. Most of the cases, में 99% cases, में the gross receipts or the turnover would be given to you in question. In case it is not given, assume it and write and assume it below 400 crore or whatever. Okay. So now since the gross receipts are more than 400 crore, applicable rate for assessment in 25-26 would be 30%. Let's compute the marginal relief. On an income of 1 crore 1 lakh, they have computed the tax as 32.1%. कैसे 32.1%? 30 पे 7% करोगे, ठीक है? The tax would come to 32,42,100. But on an income of 1 crore, tax would have come to, calculator guys, second. Solve it also, I'll also solve it. Got it? चलो. Income increased from 1 crore to 1 crore 1 lakh. Increases of 1 lakh. Tax increased from 30 lakhs to 32, 42, 100. Tax got increased of to 42, 100. Increase in income is of 1 lakh. Increase in tax was of 42, 100. So this 142, 100 would be your relief. Marginal relief is coming to 142, 100. So the final tax liability would be 32, 42, 100 minus 142, 100, which will come to plus 4% cess, which will come to 32, 42, 32 lakh 24,000. सबका आ गया? Everyone got the answer right? Sure. मार्जिनल रिलीफ में अब तो सबको कॉन्फिडेंस है. प्लीज गलत मत करना एग्जाम में. Okay. See, apart from this, there is abhi MAT calculations also. There is abhi AMD calculations also. Tax is a calculation is a very complex journey. Let's just say. But if you'll take baby step na सीधा MAT calculation पे if you'll jump or सीधा marginal relief calculation पे if you'll jump, you might go either other. But if you will first have your base solid at a slab rates class, we'll do that. Because now then we're left with the last topic for the evening, which is unexplained incomes. ओवरवेलमिंग हो गया क्या थोड़ा? And sorted rate, check, surcharge, and cess. Very important thing. I hope it is clear. Yeah. Now we come to the last topic, which is undisclosed sources of income. Now, this particular topic is actually a power of AO. AO matlab assessing officer. No one personally would come and tell them by themselves. Generally, these types of things comes under picture when scrutiny assessment is going on. Remember scrutiny assessment I told you? When detailed analysis of your return is going on, at that time such things comes out. And naturally, it may not be an income. Naturally, it may not be an income, but it can be a way to hide your income. And that's why when AO catch hold of it, they say that you not disclose it, and hence it's an undisclosed source of your income. And they add it in your income. And these income, my friends, are taxed at a special rate, matlab special, very high rate, which is 78%. Yes. So these are caught hold. That means you have a mischievous intention. You hided something. So if these are caught hold by the AO, they are taxed at 78%. How this 78% came? Basically, these are taxed at a rate of 60% plus surcharge of 25% plus cess of 4%. So this in net will give you 78. 60 ka 25 plus 4% will give you 78%. So 78% matlab if you're caught hold of this, you would not be able to get any slab benefit, get any respective benefit because these are taxed under section 115 BBE. And again, I'm saying this is not something which me and you will find and tell and give it to the AO. This is basically when AO is caught hold of. But yes, before applying the tax on this, they will give you an opportunity of explanation. If you do not give an explanation or your explanation given is not satisfactory, both the thing, आप बता नहीं पाते हो or you are not able to tell in a satisfactory manner that what are these things, what are the sources of these things, they would be taxed. Okay. But you will be given an opportunity of being heard. Don't worry. These are here in 6 different sections, starting from section 68. Cash credits, matlab kuch cash credits hai in your books of accounts and you are not able to tell. Then unexplained investments. There are certain investments, again, which are not recorded in your books of accounts and you are not able to give the explanation of it. Unexplained money, same, कुछ money, cash, bullions, कुछ भी आपके money, any valuable bullions have been received from in your demand, in your basically presence, and you cannot tell कि what are these for. Unexplained money and cash credits में क्या है? Cash credits are recorded in books, but you're not able to tell about it. Unexplained money is something which is not recorded in the books of accounts, but it is found in your possession. Okay, I'll go in detail. Don't worry. Investments not fully disclosed, etc. Matlab you have disclosed in book, but not fully. The value you might have underrated the value, or you might have overhyped the value. Whatever the situation, you're not able to tell. Unexplained expenditure. Now this happens a lot when there are raids on occasions of marriage, occasions of events where you are doing in expenditure like anything. Like people have a habit to convert all the black money by expenditure on wedding, right? We all agree on that. So sometimes a survey or raid happen on those particular days. ये hundis wala like bill of exchange होते हैं. So if you're borrowing any amount on hundi, if you're paying any amount on that hundi, that is your unexplained, undisclosed source of income, and you would be taxed accordingly. Okay. First, we'll do cash credits. Cash credits पे question भी आ सकता है. You can be given a situation that so and so thing has happened. What would be the treatment of it? So to understand so and so thing has happened, you have to understand what actually cash credit means. ठीक है, it is on your screen. First, let me pick up the selective words which will help you identify, and you have to write it in your exam also. First of all, cash credit means when any sum is founded in the books of the SSC. That means there is recording of that sum, but of cash credit means any money, not necessarily cash, बैंक entry भी हो सकता है, कुछ भी हो सकता है, ठीक है? And the SSC offers no explanation about the nature or source, or the explanation offered is not satisfactory. Okay, so they are not able to offer any explanation, or they are not able to offer a satisfactory explanation. Then this particular amount would be treated as the income of this asset. Okay. But cash credit में ना there is one more thing very critical, that वहां पे suppose आपने बोला this is a loan amount, or this is a share capital amount, or this is a premium amount. ठीक है, आपने ऐसे बोल दिया. But then there is another twist. You telling that this is a loan amount, or this is a borrowing, or this is a capital amount or a premium amount does not end the story there. Then they will, if you tell that this is a loan, or if you tell that this is a premium, they will call the person from whom you have taken it, from whom you have taken such amount. Okay? Then they will call that person in whose name such credit is recorded, or in whose name that share application money is recorded if it's a resident. And they will ask from that person कि आपके पास ये लोन देने का पैसा कहाँ से आया, from where you got the money to give that loan to the person. And if that person in whose name the amount so recorded is not able to give a satisfactory explanation in case of nature and source, then they will treat it as income. So suppose A showed in his book of account that he has taken money from B. AO will call B and will ask him to offer an explanation about the nature and source of such sum. कि आपके पास how did you already scrutiny किसका हो रहा है? A का. But they will ask from B, tell us the detail. But if B is not able to offer a satisfactory explanation, it would be treated as an income of A. It would be treated as an income of A. This goes for unexplained loan and borrowings and unexplained share capital money. But share capital money mean they can only ask about from the resident, only from the resident person who's a resident shareholder or a resident subscriber. Okay, but if you show that you receive that money from a venture capital company or a venture capital fund, then they will not call that company. Okay, but if you're saying that I've received that share capital money from Mr. X, Mr. Y, or any other company, then they can call the other person for satisfactory explanation. And it is totally on AO whether he is satisfied or not, and the onus to satisfy is big. Okay, so explanation simple सा है, when there is a cash credit situation and you are unable to tell a satisfactory explanation, it would be treated as your income. But cash is recorded in the book, as in that sum is recorded in the book. And जब loan and borrowings का बात हो रहा है, they will ask the other person to provide a satisfactory explanation about the nature and source. If he or she is not able to give it, then it would be treated as income. And similarly, if you say it is a share capital money, if you are unable to tell, then it would be treated as income. They will call the other party जिसके नाम पे you have made that entry. Okay. But if that other party is a venture capital fund or a venture capital company registered with SEBI, it would be out. So who can all be called for? Suppose the owners can be for any secured or unsecured loan, not necessarily secured loan. ऐसा नहीं है कि you say that this is a secured loan, you will be out. It is for entry or borrowings through any channel. It can be a banking channel, it can be proper electronic mode से भी. The borrower can be, or the lender can be resident, non-resident, or the borrower can be resident, non-resident. It is not restricted anywhere. This type of scenario can be asked and created in your case law, and it can be given to you, and you have to identify that this is an unexplained cash credit situation, and I would be charged under section 68, right? And interestingly, it is not only for closely held company, it is applicable for widely held companies also. लोग related party transactions कर रहे हैं, loan वगैरह. So you have to be very careful, because even if these are in the nature of loans, share capital, etc., still they can be treated as income, and still you have to pay 78% of tax. Any doubt in unexplained cash credit? What, why, how this happens? Sorted? Thank you so much, Oja. Thank you so much. Okay. Now we move ahead. Pehle, let's do unexplained money wala. Then I'll come to investment wala because then both are related. ठीक है? अब इस केस में क्या है? Unexplained money, which is section 69A. इस केस में the owner, the SSC is the owner first of all, and he has been into possession of any money, bullion, jewelry, any valuable article which is not recorded in the books of accounts. And once it is found, कि you are the owner, why it is not in the books of accounts, and you're not able to tell the nature, source, how you got it, or you're not able to tell the assessing officer a satisfactory explanation, then you are in a position of unexplained money. That money would be added as your income, and that income would be subject to 78% tax. अगेन इंपॉर्टेंट क्राइटेरिया इज ओनरशिप जरूरी नहीं है कि आपका पोजेशन में हो गया तो दे विल एड इट ऑन सपोज छोड़ो सीजर हैपन एंड जरूरी नहीं है दैट इफ important it is not that now that it is in your possession that you are the owner. No, ownership has to be proven, and then once it is proven you have to tell that what is the nature and source. If no satisfactory explanation, it is considered as an income. What is the difference between C part and A part? A part mein it is the entries are in their books. You're in your books. You are Shana, very clever. You made those entries in your books, but you are unable to give a satisfactory explanation, right? Because people who make black ka white so that they do not do it like that. That's why. But unexplained money mein that is not recorded in your books. That is the difference. Give a read quick. So a question आता है कि how will you tell the ownership is not yours? अब suppose how will that be proven when you are unable to prove that ownership is of someone else? You do not have any evidence to tell that this suppose jewelry has been taken in your possession and you are not able to tell that this jewelry is of someone else. So they will treat it as your jewelry. And इसमें CBDT का there are clarifications also that suppose you're having jewelry or gold through inheritance or through reasonable household income, it will not be considered as unexplained asset. So this question can also come to you. But again, it should be a jewelry which makes sense in grams or in some tolas. But if you have jewelries in kilograms, etc., then it does not make sense. कि आप then you cannot say that this is from your household savings, right? Yes, it can happen, definitely. They will, someone asking which head this income goes, this will go in your other sources and then they will tax it accordingly. 78% और उसके अलावा they will apply penalties also. Undisclosed sources की या penalty in case of search की, any penalty can be there. Guys, focus on the word unexplained and undisclosed. There are two different types of undisclosed income is here, which is there under 115 BBE. Once it is undisclosed, then they will ask the explanation to it. If it is unexplained, then also it would be tagged. But if it is undisclosed but explained, then different provisions can come. You have given explanation, but different provisions can come of not disclosing it, right? Okay, now next we move on to unexplained expenditure. Then I'll come to the investment wala part. Unexplained expenditure means that you incurred an expenditure. अब most of the people think कि हम expenditure खर्चा दिखा देंगे क्या issue है. We will show it as an expenditure in books of accounts. What is an issue? No, 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 no. You show it or not show it, but you should be sure of the source. You should be sure कि how you got that money to make an expenditure. And you should be prepared with a sufficient explanatory explanation. Because people have a thing, we'll claim it as expenditure. No, if you do so, and if you do not have a satisfactory explanation, whatever expenditure you are claiming or not claiming, whatever expenditure incurred basically, would be treated as your income, for that particular financial year. For that particular financial year. और ये नहीं है कि एक्सपेंडिचर पहले डिडक्शन मिलेगा देन इट वुड बी ट्रीटेड एज इनकम. नो, इट विल नॉट बी कंसिडर्ड एज एक्सपेंडिचर. उल्टा इट वुड बी ट्रीटेड एज इनकम ऑल्सो. लास्ट, ये सिर्फ नाम से यू आर एबल टू गेट इट एंड आई एम प्रीटी मच श्योर यू गाइस आर दैट स्मार्ट. Last part is unexplained investment and undisclosed investment. First of all, unexplained investment. Unexplained investment is that you have investments, but are not recorded in the books of accounts. Some investments are found in your name. It is not in your books of accounts, and then you do not give a sufficient explanation about the nature and source of the investment, or the explanation offered to you by you is not satisfactory, then that unexplained investment shall be taxable as the income of that particular financial year. आपने रिकॉर्ड किया है और लेस रिकॉर्ड किया है, दैट गोज अंडर 69B. If you have not recorded at all, that goes under this particular section, which is 69. इसका एग्जाम्पल क्या होता है इन्वेस्टमेंट का? सपोज करो आई मेड अ सेल, ओके, बट आई डिड नॉट I made a sale and I did not enter it in the books of accounts, right? अब उससे क्या, unexplained stock is also an unexplained investment. If that stock is not recorded in your books of accounts or you are not able to tell it how it is coming, that is also unexplained investment. Okay, so there can be a lot of way where such questions can come, and again, a question directly would not be of these provision. A question would be a hypothetical building that so and so thing has happened. What will be an impact? जहां पे भी question is coming about not satisfactory explanation, no explanation, undisclosed amount, then automatically you have to divert yourself on these provisions along with the penalties, etc. ठीक है? And the last one is investments which are not completely recorded in the books. They are recorded, and the investment can be any investment, bullion, valuable articles. They are recorded in the books of accounts, but their real value exceeds by the amount in which they are recorded. Then this particular section 69B would be applicable. Okay? So basically, understated investment. Basically, there is understated investments. If not recorded in books of account, 69. If recorded in books of account but less value, 69B. Similarly, cash recorded, cash credits, 69, 68. If not recorded at all, then 69A. Noted? Sure. Any doubt in any of these? Abhi hundis wala reh gaya. Always the onus to prove that the investment is correct is basically on the thing of fair market value. Assessing officer, they will not do it from themselves. They will obviously judge based on the fair market value. Okay. Yes, it can be in case of properties. A property you are taking actually of with black money of say 3 crores, but in books you're showing only of that white money amount of 1 crore, and somehow the assessing officer proves it. Then you are gone because that 2 crore is an under-explained asset, right? And then they would tax it as your income. They will tax it as your income. See, technically, all these are on assets value, all loan amounts, but you will say, ma'am, assets value and loan amounts are not incomes. Definitely, they are not. But if they are undisclosed, unsatisfactory explained, the source is not clear, the nature is not clear, obviously, make your mind run on those black money transactions, etc., happening in the system and how people claim it as white. To catch hold of all those things, these provisions have been added. These provisions give power to AO to tax these as incomes. Sorted? Last is bill of exchange. Hundi is basically कहीं पे लिखा नहीं है. It's like a paper document which contain the promise that I'm taking this cash. I will pay it later at a particular time, particular place. Right. So if you're making a payment for hundi, if you're taking that amount, or you're making the repayment in cash or basically other than account paycheck, then it would be treated as unexplained income and it would be taxed at the special rates. Class that 69, right? 69, right? Then how are these different? See, Hundi transactions are there under 69D and 269 SS and TT are basically for anti-black money transaction. वहां पे है acceptance or repayment of loan or deposits. There, here is on hundis, you are showing that I'm borrowing that money on a promise and I'm repaying them on promise. There is a limit there in 269 SSNT. Here, there is no limit. Right here, there is no limit. So first, if they catch hold of you and if they prove it was on a basic order of promise, they will apply 69D because 69D has more severe consequences than your 269 SS and 269 SP. So you have to be very careful in applying those provisions in exams also. Clear understanding दोनों का रखोगे, then only it would be more clear. So what are the undisclosed sources of income? One is cash credit, one is unexplained investment, one is understated investment, one is unexplained expenditure, one is undisclosed investments not in the books of accounts, and last is amount borrowed or repaid on Hundi, other than by account paycheck. तो अगर बोरोइंग के टाइम पे दिस पर्टिकुलर प्रोविजन इज एप्लीकेबल, रीपेमेंट के टाइम पे अगेन द पर्टिकुलर प्रोविजन वुड नॉट बी एप्लीकेबल, राइट? बट इफ रीपेमेंट पे देयर इज एन इंटरेस्ट ऑन इंटरेस्ट पार्ट, दैट प्रोविजन वुड बी एप्लीकेबल. So first of all, Ankita, a very good question, but make in habit, do not write it as NRI taxation. NRI words, I will not appreciate anyone to use it. If you're saying non-resident, say non-resident in India. NRI is a different concept which is there in your non-resident wala thing, and that too only for a particular section. Okay? So make a habit to write it as non-resident, number one. Now, non-resident के लिए भी slab rates का benefits है. All new schemes also and old schemes also, there's a benefit. But if you remember in old scheme, the benefit of senior citizen and super senior citizen is basically only for resident. In fact, anywhere in the act, if senior citizen or super senior citizen is mentioned, it is basically resident super senior citizen and resident senior citizen. Okay? Other than, so if a non-resident wants to claim old scheme, uske liye always the basic exemption limit would be 2,50,000 and not 3 lakh or 5 lakh, because that is only for resident. Then non-resident does not have a benefit of rebate, because that is again only for resident individual. Okay? Now about capital gain, the special rates part, capital gain pay, tax, all these special rate wala thing are applicable to non-resident also. Yes, having said that, non-resident ka for some types of asset, there is some special rate, but that is covered in your capital gain section. Abhi, to have a basic view at a glance for capital gain taxation, you can say that this is applicable for resident also, non-resident also. These special rates are applicable for companies also, firms also, AOP, BOI, AGP, everyone. Okay, so we are good to go with all our provisions. Homework is to do all the illustration. Homework is to do the question which was shared to you on the screen. I'll share the Excel file also. Homework is to read the all questions in relation to it and read chapter ka ek line. If you are able to do it, very good. We'll meet it on the next class on Tuesday. Before I wrap up the class, you guys have 1 minute. Please ask any of your doubt which is left, or you want to do any question. Let me know. More questions if you want to practice on tax rates. In some time, tax calculators would be updated everywhere across. Then you can practice by putting up any of your mark. Okay, so Ankita, to answer your question, your yeah, your question, yes. So Ankita, your question, which is for filing non-resident who had an income below 2,50,000 and SCG was of 15%. Unexhausted basic exemption limit का question है. I think that is only for your resident assessees, but not for your non-resident assessees. इसलिए वो charge किया गया होगा. But more clarity would follow in your capital gain chapter. Don't worry. Rest I'll share the calculations with you. You can write it as a question to ICAI and we'll share the calculations. Okay. Anyone else? Any doubt? You're good to go, and I hope you got to practice a lot of questions today. So next class, if you'll have any doubts, we'll dedicate 5 minutes to our query session and then we can start, okay? Do join on time. We'll meet on Tuesday with PGBP, a very important chapter coming up. So get ready, okay? Thank you so much. See you all in the next class. Good night. Yes, session over. Thank you so much.